Welcome to this fourth and final lesson in this module on how internet companies use digital business models. There is one more type of digital business model we will discuss. That is, one additional way of generating demand practiced by software incumbents. We call that an asymmetric business model. Asymmetric business models are based on the economics of complements. Let's see how complements work. In economics, a complement is a good that is dependent or requires use of another product. Let's see some examples. Home printers depend on ink cartridges to work, so cartridges are a complement to printers and vice versa. Cars depend on gasoline fuel to work, so gas is a complement to cars and vice versa. The economics of complement says that when you reduce the value of the complement, the demand for the product increases. When you reduce the value, that is the price of printers, more people will buy printers, and therefore more people will buy cartridges. Similarly, when you reduce the value, that is the price of gas, more people will buy cars. When the complement is commoditized, the demand for the product is increased. Let's now see how companies use complements as part of their business model. To do that, we will overlay the four-part architecture of a business model with three examples using economics of complements: Apple, Google, and Amazon. Apple creates value by making it easy for software developers to create millions of apps. Apple has therefore commoditized apps by making it easy for anyone to build and distribute an app, and encouraging price competition among developers. In turn, these apps are the reason why users buy iPhones, iPads, Apple TVs, and Apple Watches. Therefore, reducing the value of apps drives the demand for its core product, which is devices. Google creates value by making it easy for handset and tablet makers to build smart devices. The open source licensed version of Android is distributed at no cost to the handset makers and is supported by the widest range of hardware partners with off-the-shelf chipsets, components, and handset designs. In most markets, effectively all markets outside China, Google bundles, that is, locks its Play Store with its own profiling services and advertising services. That effectively means that every Android user outside China will consume Google services, whether on the phone or on a desktop browser. Therefore, by commoditizing Android, Google is effectively driving the demand for its core advertising business. Amazon creates value by making hardware, such as Kindle Fire tablets and Echo devices, available at cost. In turn, these devices are bundled, that is, locked to Amazon e-commerce services. Effectively, by commoditizing Kindle Fire and Echo, Amazon is driving the demand for its core e-commerce business. What is common across business models are the following three conditions. A company identifies a complement in a different industry. Value is created by commoditizing that complement. 3. The complement is bundled with the core product of the company, i.e., where profits are generated. The fact that value creation in the form of commoditization happens in a different industry is what creates confusion and often surprise to industry observers. As such, it can be used as a powerful unfair advantage towards competitors. We should also note that asymmetric business models are possible to copy, but are very hard to protect against. For example, when Google launched Android, industry observers thought that the company was getting into the hardware business. When Apple launched the App Store, telecom operators thought that the Cupertino-based company was moving into the ringtones and media business. Little did they understand at that time. In general, asymmetric business models transfer profits and customers across industries. Let's examine 4 cases where this happens. Apple creates value by commoditizing the mobile software industry and captures profits and customers in the hardware industry. Facebook creates value by making it possible for anyone to send messages and make calls for free via Messenger and WhatsApp, effectively commoditizing the telecoms industry. While users are engaged in Messenger and WhatsApp, they are profiled and exposed to advertising and e-commerce opportunities, which are Facebook's core business. Google creates value by commoditizing goods in several industries: Android in hardware, apps in software, Wallet, a low-cost payment service in e-commerce, and connectivity solutions in telecoms. All of these are complements and drive demand for Google's core advertising business. Amazon creates value by commoditizing Kindle Fire and apps for the Kindle, which in turn drive demand for the Amazon e-commerce business. It's also worth highlighting the example of Zenefits, a company which offers free HR, that is human resources software, for employee onboarding. Zenefits bundles the use of software with an employee benefits plan which is mandatory for employees of US companies. What Zenefits effectively does is commoditize HR software, which in turn drives demand for its insurance broker business. This concludes the module on how internet companies use digital business models. In the next module, we'll discuss developers as the new decision makers, and following that, how developers are now the engine of digital business models.